Hello and welcome back to Transports Fever 2, the UK modded series. Thank you very much for joining me in today's video. Now, in the last video, I was working on, and I believe I titled the video, Resignaling the Mainline network. Now, as I explained in that video, there was a lot of changes that I needed to do to said mainline network with the signals, the locations, placement, distances between them, so on and so forth, to make this work, and I only managed to get the mainline network from Bracknell to Macclesfield completed. Off camera, I have not had a chance to do any more because one of the mods that I was using, that is Donut's better signals and the associated GWR aspect signals, not this one that you see in front of you, but the old style semaphores, that mod has been removed. Thankfully and luckily, I had a backup of that mod. Now, after a little bit of tweaking around, I've managed to get that mod working again, and I'm going to be using it for a little while as I try to figure out what to do next and going forward with that mod. Reason being is that I do not wish to have that mod on my save for any longer than I need to necessarily. There's a long thing about what's happened with that mod. I'm not going to get into that with Better Signals, and I do hope that Better Signals have something that will sort out and do the Great Western style semaphore signals with what they have, because I think that will go rather well. In today's video, I'm planning to get the section from Macclesfield to West Mersey completed, and in all honesty that should be possible and it should not be all too difficult to do that section. And then after that I'm probably going to do the rest of it off camera. As I've mentioned before, I have done the sections from Attleborough all the way down to Barnstaple, and the areas from West Bromwich and the West Bromwich branch line. That has all been completed. I have tested and done the section from, where was it? It was, I'm just trying to think, Shepton Mallet over to Batsley. That section has been done, and also Croydon to Batsley. That section has been done as well, which, if that was a real line, that would be quite a significant distance. But yes, those two sections have also been completed, and I think, I'm not entirely certain, I think I went ahead and did the section between Taunton and Kingsbridge, sorry. I think I've gone ahead and done that as well. So I'm going to go around and have a look at all of these whilst I'm doing them, but for this video I'm just going to get on with some further signalling of probably the busiest section of the main line. Make sure you stay tuned. Let's get started. Right, in that time that I've been speaking, by the way, that train, the express service, has managed to make it out to the platform here where the Better Signal mod just works on a load. So this is something that I'm finding interesting, is that some of these are working, some of these are not now, and I'm trying to figure out what does and does not work. So yes, that's managed to, the Better Signals mod managed to work, and the train managed to make it out from here when I started the video, and in the 4 minutes it has made its way up to here. So not too shabby, doing 71 miles per hour. That is not a valid signal. What I just want to check is to make sure that the feather signal still works. It does. So that feather signal is working exactly as it should be. And as you can see, these signals are not. Absolutely no idea why. So yes, that is a problem. Anyway, moving on. let's try and make this episode not as long as the others. So, the section out of Macclesfield. So, I'll do Macclesfield to Early and then Early back from Early to Macclesfield, and we shall work it out from there. If that should be a road that I make. Stop being distracted. Get on with it. The towns are really growing now. They are really, really growing rather rapidly, as are the passengers who, for some reason, also keep sinking into the ground. Now, the easiest way to... Yeah, indeed. The easiest way to fix these is just to add a platform, like so. So do that, and then delete that platform. And suddenly, everybody is back to standing properly. Whoa, this one's already making it. Now that is going through quickly. I kind of want to... I know this is not what I'm supposed to be doing, but I kind of want to get a picture of this flying through. Or not a picture, just a moment of this flying through. Macclesfield is a very busy station. Coming through at nearly 80 miles per hour. Now, if only that was smooth. Once I switch off the timetables, that will be smoother. Not even sure that was doing 80, to be honest. No, it was not. It's braking, and that is something that I'm going to try to fix. So, let me start getting on with this. Now, coming into Macclesfield, we have two signals there, which are both, again, better signals mods that are stuck. So we have this set up here, that's going in there, and therefore I think that this need not be a signal, because what we then have is, if we were to measure this, what we then end up having is 420-ish yards, 415 yards between signals. Now, in reality, that is not a problem. 440 yards is a quarter mile, so that is not that big an issue, but I would much rather that this one would be an additional... In fact, just here. That is where I would rather it be. Yes. So I would rather that this is where those end up. Now, trying to work out which train goes where is another issue, which means that section should probably change and bring it back to here. I'm trying to work out what I did with this. Because what I could do is I could create a very large one across here, or at least two gantries, which would definitely work for this, to try to get people into the station. So yes, this is where I would like another signal. I need to figure out where these trains are going. There it is. It is here. Why does it do that? Right, because this was an old... I remember what this railway was. So in reality, this bit is no longer strictly necessary. I'm going to place a new signal here. And I'm going to, unfortunately, as much as I want to use the semaphores, I think I'm going to have to use the better signals going through. And I will place a... Let's go 0... I did say I was going to put that on a gantry. I wanted to put them back there. Perhaps if I just push them slightly further forward, I could have 1, 2, 3 on a gantry. And you know what? That could potentially work. That could potentially work. Right, I have an idea. So, I'm going to place 1, 2, 3 like that. I'm then going to put a gantry up, a pre-configured one. And I'm going to say left, mid, right. Oh, but the possibility here of actually putting a... Hang on. Just checking something. What would it look like if I... Come on. If I tried something like that. Oh, but it curves away. You can see the track curving away on this side. So it gets way, way too close. So that is unfortunate. Unless I did. I'm thinking here. Now I think this is not going to go well. Okay. Goodbye, goodbye, and goodbye. Let's do this. Let's just start with this. Starts with this and work and figure it out from there. Wrong way. Wrong way. There we are. So let's go ahead and put that in. I will then grab this. Do I want 2 aspect or 3 aspect signals? That truly is the question. I think at this point 3 aspect signals are the way to go. There we are. Brand new 3 aspect signals. Now somebody left a comment about this, regarding this, saying that would it not be better to have them up on gantries? And you are right. The only issue I have here is this is no longer I would definitely want signals here, and that only gives me 1/8 of a mile. So conversely we could go, that means going all the way back here. No, let me try this and work from there. I am also going to... I'm going to remove the signal, leave the gantry up for now. We'll work with that. This is where things get a little bit more awkward. Why is that just a freight line? That's apparently I have a dedicated freight line. That makes no sense. That makes very little sense. I will figure that out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have to place... Unfortunately, here I'm going to have to place those donut signals, which is really a shame. Until I can find something that will work better, I think I'm just going to have to deal with this. Wait, these ones are not even connecting. Right. These no longer register anything. So it appears that these signals that I have, well, I guess I am modernizing. I have been forced to modernize the signal network. Right. That was not what I was trying to do or what I wanted to do. Come on, there we go. I just realised I can place these right the way back here. I never think about that. The fact that it can be placed further back. There we are. Okay. So that, and that. Why is none of this really marked? That speed is wrong. In fact, all these speeds are wrong. Is there a 60 here? No. 74, 60. Right, I'm going to have to go back and have a look at these speeds as well at some point. But for now, that is what I'm going to do there. I'm then going to remove that one. So we've got that and that. I'm going to remove that one. That pushes that a little bit further forward. And then we have this. Then from here, this is where perhaps I should have this paused, but this is fine. This is why I should have it paused. Come on. I want 800 and... So I'm just looking at where those signals are, and I'm not entirely keen on those. Here we go. 880 yards. This is where I want a signal. Roughly. There we are. I'll put the right signals in afterwards. Uh, 730 yards to the points. You know what? It's not terrible. That is not terrible. And then a further... Let's try and do this properly again. 880 yards. So signals should be here, but then you've got the split there that I have to worry about. Okay. Okay, this is where things change a little. So we have a signal there, 880 yards for that one. For this, I will start splitting these into... Let's change this into a gap of... Oh, wait. What was that one? Wait a minute. 300 and so. This one moves to... Oh, no, that one is fine. 440. That would make another 440, so I actually delete... Go, come on. No, not the track, just the signal. Delete that signal. This is actually... This takes a lot to try and work out. And then I could do every 440, I guess. But then there is that one just there. Which is 640. So almost 660, so we've got 3/8 of a mile. So, what if I change this one From 440 to 590. Is it 590 or 595? Something like that. So I'm going to move that one up to here. 585, 587, it was that. So I'll move that one here. I remove this one. There we are. Good. That then allows, if I've got this correct, build, will you? That should give me another 500 and... Okay, it gives you another 500 yards. Not ideal, but it will do. Then after that split... Okay, this is where things get a little bit trickier. What I wanted was 440, but I'm not entirely certain that that is going to happen. Because 440 is there. So realistically, these are probably the best I'm going to get from that moment. So actually the approach then into early station is correct. After that, this approach is correct. What I need to do is have the feathers. Yes. So, oh, you are... Oh yeah, you are going out there too. That is correct. Busy station. Very busy station. Okay. And then these will work out these exits in a moment. What is this one for? That is a fourth that I need to be aware of. And that comes from here. Right. That cannot be a thing, because that will only give me 300. That cannot be a thing. It must be... I'll push that. Oh, I could just leave it where it is. No. No. Stop being silly about it. Do it properly. There we are. Okay. So do that, then remove just that signal. And now I get to place all of these. So, what do we have? We have this one that is done. We have this one where I need to think about this. This one that is clearly not done. Right, last one to think about. Do I want... So this is 880 up to about there. Right, yes. Do I want a 440? Do I want to put a signal there? Given the level of traffic across this viaduct, would that be a smart thing to do? I'm not sure, but for now, I'm not going to have it. So, bye-bye signal. Let's start putting the right signals up here. So, 2 aspect signal for this. Does that actually like that signal? It does. That signal disappears. Yep, this one disappears too. So I think all I've done is just move the signals along a bit. So very disappointed that I cannot use the... I suppose in some cases I could, but yeah, this is just a little bit unfortunate. What goes where here? A few things move along. Oh, I need to put a waypoint. To put a waypoint. Waypoint, waypoint, waypoint. What's this one again? Route equals 1. Then the feather signal goes in. I should probably use the 3 aspects here. So how does the distance signal work? Distant signals that check adjust based on the status of the following signal. So repeaters. I'm not going to use the PLS. There we are. Okay. So that is that one done. And we have another one just here. That does not have a route, so I'm just going to do that. We'll do... I need to decide between these 3 aspect and 2 aspect signals, really. This one needs to change. Maybe I'm not going to get much done here. As I said, it is a difficult thing to do. It does take a lot of time. There we are. You go in there. You... not ground. 2 aspects. And then, should I change these? That is truly the question. Are these ones that should be changed? Possibly. Possibly should be looking at reworking these. The only issue here is if I do that one and I mark it all the way out here, I'm not sure if this is going to register that route. Same thing here. Not sure if it will register that route. I will come back to these. For now, let's see if this improves anything. Right, outbound. So we've got these. I'm not going to touch them for now because, as I said, I want to retain some of the Great Western stuff. But clearly, you know, the donut stuff does not work. Step 1 is to measure from here. How far are we going? That is only 200 yards. Why did I place a signal here is the question. What is that signal? Right, that signal is for something that no longer exists. That was that old turning there. That old turning there was what that was. Right, so this signal can disappear. What I could do, if I measure this up properly, Right. Just thinking what I could do with this. So I could do a sixth of a mile. I could do a fifth of a mile, but how much? No, a fifth of a mile is about 350 yards. So it would have to be a sixth of a mile, which would be, say, about 295 yards. So I can put 2 signals here. That could work. Okay. The only problem is that there might be trains that are 220 yards long going through here. The next option is all the way out here at 440 yards, which what I was thinking is I do that, then I do 440 yards from there, which should take me up to that point. And let me figure that out, because that, I know where that is. Yes, that is what I was thinking. I thought 440 yards would be around here, and it is. It's about there. So then all I do is I bring these back a bit. See the 440 yard mark? And that would work. So let's do that. And for this is just a basic, nothing else peels in from here, do they? No. Although I guess a feather signal would be interesting to have here. There we go. Right. So we've got 2 there. One of the issues I have with this is how long it takes for it to go green. I think there is an option to improve that. And then I could say, after this junction, how far is it for the 440 yards? But I think that's a bit too much. Yeah, that's 350. I think 440 yards from here is about 500 yards nearly. So no, you know what? Leave it there. Leave him there. Because of this join here. And after this, we have to figure out, now what did I do last time? That's 800, that's basically the 880 yards. So that section is correct. I have measured these before. The only thing that I can think of is that on the non-express route, I could potentially queue traffic up. Yes, non-express route, queue traffic up. And I know that this is a mix of better signals and not, but for now I think this is perhaps the best I can do. Out there. Well, that works, because there's a train that needs to make its way behind or through this. So I've actually got the amber. This is working as it should. I'm hoping that this goes green. Come on, that should go green any second now. Come on. That should be clear. Unless there's an express train that has suddenly started making its way through. Okay, well, I have no idea. Maybe the whole thing needs to be better signals all the way for it to understand. And it's because this is already red. And the confusion, the absolute confusion. Right, we'll work this out. $880 yards. Do that. Signal there, please. With a 2-aspect signal right there. Good. We'll remove this signal there. Let's change. We'll go ahead and change these two signals whilst we're at it. Two aspects and 2 aspects. Now this I could have made maybe a tiny gantry or something. See, that is a problem because that really should not be showing an amber light. That should be showing a green. Because this should already be green. So I need to figure out how to do that. Perhaps there's something in the settings that I have got incorrect. Which, yes, is highly likely. Right, so I've done that. Then I need to go... How far? 440. Now, I think at this point I should start shrinking all of this. Because this is already on a station approach. So it would make sense for me to be doing such a thing. I also think we need to know where we are going with this. So this is where things get a little interesting. For some reason, nobody takes that middle line. And realistically, somebody should be taking that. And I'm going to make sure I might be getting rid of that. So how do I make sure that this one takes it? Okay, I know what to do. So I'm going to... Who should be taking that middle line? That's the question. Wait, what has changed here? This has all changed. This has all gone wrong. So I need you to go past that. That is better. Good. And on the way back, there is going to be a signal here. Let me sort out the signal first, then I will sort out the way the waypoints work. Yes, that makes sense to me. So this has already split. So let me push this to... it's only 440 yards. Can I make this go... It is not the worst. I'm actually going to make it go past this signal here. Oh no, but that is what it does. That is why it does not do... Well, that's okay. I can make you go past the other signal. That's how I'm going to make you go past. Okay. Okay, fine. I can do this. I can figure this one out. I think. Here. We are going to place signals here. 1 and 2. They will then be marked 2 aspect signal. 1. Come on, change. There we are. 2. I will then remove those 2. I then have to figure out where it's you. Okay, where are you going? You're going to Macclesfield Goods Yard. What if I gave you that? Okay. Okay, this is better. This is definitely better. I'm also... So, I'm going to get rid of you. And then we have the missing signal here, which I want to put in. Is that the right distance? Not really. It is one of the more awkward signals. So I'm going to actually place it just here. Now, what I'm going to do is add 3 waypoints. So I'll do that. Sure. So that is going to be route equals 1. That is going to be route equals 2. I've not tried it with 2 before, so this could go very wrong. 3 aspect signal, 2 routes to the left. Pop that in. What do we get? Have a train on its way in. That is saying it goes there. Is that where it goes? No. No, it does not. Okay. So, maybe I got that the wrong way. That is route. Let me rename this. Route equals 2. Route equals 1. So it goes in towards the center. That's fine. Let's try now. Maybe I should demolish that and build it again. Just so that it does not get confused. There we are. Okay. So that is saying that it is taking that branch. Good. Speed are you going at? About 50. Any trains behind you? Yes, there is. You doing 65. Is happily pottering along. Perhaps that should be a 3 aspect signal. So how soon will that change? So we've got that one there. Did I get this right? Hold on. I need to check this. Did I get this right? It's a 440. And that. What if I change that? What if I change this distance? So we have 750. What if I did 375, which is just over 1/5 of a mile? That would help. That would really help. I'm going to move this one. I know this is perhaps a little silly what I'm doing, but to me, I think all of this is really important. I didn't even put a signal there. There we go. Okay. So now, see, that is the issue. That should not be showing an amber. Okay, it's now showing green. Good. So now we are getting somewhere because that is showing green. That is showing amber. Not entirely certain why. Here comes another train. This one is cleared all the way through. That is now showing green. Good. That is red. Okay. We are definitely starting to make headway here. This is just far slower than I was perhaps hoping. And then behind that, we have another train coming. So this is sort of working. Green, amber, red. It is sort of working. Not perfectly, but it is sort of working. So what I could do, looking at the time it's taken me just to do the early section, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for... I'll still keep doing this for another 10 minutes or so. And we will start, we will move to this side and start doing at least that section. Surely that cannot be too difficult. It's the approaches that are really hard to do. The other thing is that this bit here is annoying. That is quite low. Oh well. Amber, green. Amber with the feather. Hang on. Should that not be... I cannot remember what the feather is supposed to be saying, but it is fine. Absolutely fine. I am going to fix this bit so that it works for me here. So what I will do is remove that, and rebuild just this section. Yep. I'll do that. So I'll remove those two. Then I'll remove those afterwards. First, I need to put the telegraph pole in. Now, some of you might be wondering, am I ever going to end this series? And the answer to that is yes. I am definitely going to be ending this series. It is just that there is so much that I still have to do with this series, and it is, there is just, yes, there's just so much that needs to be done. Is that better? I think so. Let's make that tense cable. Still, see what I'm thinking is I do that. And let me do this. I'll do that. Then I will go down to whatever this one is. Back down here. Using the tense cable, that works. Gets rid of that. Gets rid of one of those. Job done. That just about clears. I'm okay with that. Good. Right. Not a great spot. Let's find a screenshot. One screenshot's coming right up. In a few seconds. I guess I could take one there. That is probably going to change to green, you see. It's supposed to. It has not. So I'll take another one there. Why did that not change to green? What is here? It's these signals. They are taking way too long to change. That is what is catching us out. Right. That section, I will say, is complete for now. Let me work out the next section. Now, this section is a little tricky here. But what I've got to do is I've got to look at where does this section clean itself up. So we take a look at this, and I could say that we have... So we're looking at these 4 lines here. So the 4 lines are cleared by this point. I would say by this point we are entirely clear on this side. So I would suggest, or I'm going to attempt, to take it from here and measure out from that. So 880 yards is just here. Now I already have some signals just there. That would take me up to this section. I think that is a good place to put a full set of a full overhead gantry set. Right here. So that is what I'm going to do. Like that. And then, now I already have some down there. Oh yes, that is what I was saying earlier. Somebody was talking about these, whether the overhead gantries are a neater idea. Both yes and no. I do like these. Just slightly smaller. Do you think I could put... Now I wonder... Could I place modern signals on here? That really is a question to ask. Oh, is he? Going to try. So if better signals somehow manages to, or these signals somehow manage to sit, they do as well. This isn't. I can do some shifting. I can do some shifting, but I think I can make these sit. I could make them hang off the bottom. I could make them sit over the top. In fact, I think them sitting over the top is the better option. It's just a matter of trying to get them to seem like they want to sit there. Okay, I'm just going to place this one on just to see if it actually looks okay. No, it's too high. Okay. That is probably the better option. So I'll try this again. How does that look? Still a bit too high. And also not too... too far forward, back. Okay, the X direction is not the one I want. No, it is the X direction, because look, now that's Y shifted. That is wrong. It was the X shift I wanted. But why does that not... Oh, I see. I see, because if I do that, that's much further out. Okay. I'm starting to understand. There. I know that this is not... I know it's not quite right yet. I think I'm getting there. For some reason, I think I could somehow manage to make that believable. Can I make that believable somehow? I think there is a very, very slight possibility that I can by doing that. That, to me, is a believable signal. I want to do that. Right. This is going to be interesting. Is that the right? I don't even know if that's the right track, but... Hey, over the middle. Why does that not seem... Right, I want them over the middle as well. Wrong side. That is how I want them. That's quite a lot of changes that I'm having to make here, but you know what? This is going to be worth it. Just because I think it's going to look correct. But that does not look like it's over the centre anymore. When you look at it like that, no, it is not. Not that. Is that so? But that is not over the centre. Why must it be like this? Can I not? Okay. That is clearly wrong. That is better, but not ideal. This is fine. The signals will be offset. It's because of the signal type. It says left or right. It is where it is expecting it to be. It's just, this is a bit not where we're expecting it to be. Why is this one in the middle though? That is my more pressing concern. Hang on. I just saw something. How did I do that? No idea. Okay, this is not terrible. And in all honesty, I think this could be a... Right. Let me take 1, 2, 3, 4 down. Let me mark this the way... Yeah, let me do this. That is going to be the thumbnail for the episode. We are trying to move into a modern signalling era. Yes, I think that is going to be the thumbnail. That will work quite nicely for me. What is the signal this way? This signal is green. Good. So, now that I have that, let me get the next setup. Which I think should be, again, 880 yards. I think I'm just going to do the same thing. This one is not on a gantry either. Or let me just push these ones away just a touch for now. And then I'll deal with... Yes, let me just do this for now. Then I'll deal with the rest of the chaos. Okay, so that is the next set. That is staying there. I might put the better signals on that. The next set should be here. So this is where there is, again, I have a gantry with the signals that I wanted, which I could possibly just still use. I think I might just continue to use those. So let's pop some overhead signals in here. This is where I have to... Wait. What is the... What was the offset for that? No idea. I need to look at how I did these. Okay, there was definitely something I did here. Like that. Put the gantry back in. Same one. Come on. That goes there. So all I have to do is make slight adjustments. There. That will replace this entire set. And again, if I had working If I had a working set of these, I would have done so. I would have already done so with the better signals, but I do not. $880 is then here, which I think I should make use of. And for now, let's just do this. This actually makes it a lot easier to do before I put the better signals in. It gives me a chance to clean things up. And the signal box is, well, the signal box is there. Okay. And thereafter it can be 440 yards. So I'll go, so on the inbound, we are now going to go, oh, fine, just stop being a pain. I need to know what this is. 210 yards. That's, say, 410 yards. That's the 440 yards. I'm going to say that that is the 440 yard mark, roughly. Then from here, not that way. We should have another set here, which there is right there, and then into the station. Okay. I think that these signals are actually in a good state. I do think that these signals are in a good state now, all the way through. What I will do, one of the set that I really think we should have, is on the inbound here. Mind you, there is a whole bunch of signals there. Just trying to think whether or not it is worth me putting some signals where that tree is. I think it is. Yes, I think it is worth me putting signals right where this tree is. And these ones are going to be better signals because, well, they are brand new. Like so, and they will be... There's the better signals. Come on. 2 aspect. Ground. 2 aspect, 3 aspect. 3 aspect. Who goes where? Nobody goes there. That's awkward. Why is nobody going there? Okay. I need that to change. I very much need that to change. Where did I put the signals? Here. For now, I'm just going to place standard 3 aspect signals. Like that. I've only just noticed what's up with the lights on that signal. What has happened there? Oh, it's the shift. Right. Well, that's a problem. Because it looks like if you shift it, it does not actually shift the light. Which means that all of these are going to look really stupid, aren't they? Oh no, these ones appear fine. Okay, perhaps just a bug on these ones down here. Now, what I need to do is I need to ensure that these actually move into the different... move across into the different areas, so... into the different lines. I'm going to make sure that that works, and that is where I'm going to end this video. So, step one is you, on your return journey, you must go past this signal. And you, on your return journey, you must go past this signal. Better. And that should help. So that just splits this into two. So that is what we are after. And see, even here I could have... So for example, there's this one. I could actually have it that it knows this is going to peel over or peel off. That would be really cool to put in. And something that I probably will. Green to red, good. Amber, that needs to be worked out. You are clear. Yes, that is going to be a really interesting thing. And also, it looks like there is an instance where this would go out onto the main line. So having something that feathers out as well would be interesting very interesting to see. But for now, that is where I'm going to end this episode. Thank you very much for watching. This bit, by the way, does not need better signals because, well, single track. So this is absolutely fine. So that bit does not need any better signals. That is now effectively done up to West Mersey. I'll do the changes. Off camera, I'll probably do this section between Barnstaple and West Mersey. This bit needs no better signals. This bit needs no better signals. And the next section will be, which I will try to do off camera, is West Mersey to Berwick. Berwick to Downham Market to Croydon. That bit needs to be done. And then this bit is already done. This bit is already done. Then it's just this section here. Lots to do, but things that I'm going to try and figure out as quickly as possible, because if I change the date of that to the date of release, which is the 25th, I do want to move on past 1945. I do really want to do that. I want to end this series in the 1990s. Not sure if that is going to happen, but certainly I have to make it. I definitely have to make it up to the 1980s. Now, what I'm thinking is that if Transport Fever 3 comes out, I will run this in parallel with it to end the series. But thank you very much for watching. Please remember to click on the like button if you like this video, subscribe to the channel for more videos on Transport Fever 2, the UK modded series. Leave a comment in the comments box below, let me know what you think. Any suggestions you might have. What do you think of this? Is this reasonable? You're somewhere else, aren't you? Lost. Oh, I could have possibly added another signal there. But yes, do let me know what you think of this and certainly this style. If that is something that will or will not work, I might place that somewhere else or in some other places. Anyway, if you can do so, please do consider supporting me on Patreon. Link in the description box below, as are links to my social media and Discord server. That is all from me. Do you have anything? You have very little. That is all from me, and I shall see you next time in Transports Fever 2, the UK modded series. I think I might have reworked these signals. Not turn them into better signals, but I think I might have reworked these. No, these might also actually be No, these are not best signals, but they are reworked. So for this, all I'm probably going to have to do is just replace them with better signals. But the signal design, I think, is correct. So there we go. Until across the bridge. I think I've got it. Yes, I think I've got it right. Until across the bridge. So yes, that is all from me. And I shall see you next time, where I'll probably try to do something different. I'm sure you're getting bored of seeing signalling after signalling after signalling. And every now and then my brain not allowing me to say the word signalling properly. Say it enough times and it just starts sounding like random noise. Anyway, I will see you next time.